Now that we're no longer talking about meatball subs,
and for this stream, not the alternative kind, just the regular old kind.
Just the honestly,
just the normal kind, just the normal old-fashioned meatball sub. Anyways, my name is Jake, everyone. I go by he, him. I am the GM of this absolutely phenomenal group. We are short a guilty, but don't worry. I get to harass them this weekend. So, send me your harassment to me, and I will give them to her. We're gonna do introductions of everyone here, and then after that, I'll make some announcements. So let's start with Liv.
Hi, I'm Liv. I use she/they pronouns. I'll be playing Alma Sue, the group's witch who uses she/her pronouns. We're fucking in it, huh? This shit sucks. I hate it here. But I love it. I love being here with all these people.
Drac.
Hi, I'm Draconics or Drac. Recently dubbed the Lone Draconics by Gabe, so I'm keeping it. It sounds cool to me. I use he/they pronouns. So does my character Imra Adaleth, who's the half vampire, elf Dhampir, and the sorcerer of the group. Apparently has a little bit of something extra going on in his head now, but you know, it's not a big deal or anything. You know, it's whatever. It's probably he'll probably sleep it off or something. He also uses he/they pronouns and is the villain of the villain group.
How accurate that is
That's cute.
That's
absolutely
so true.
It's true because it's like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a lot of us are non-binary in this group. A lot of us don't adhere to things. But if there's one thing that's true, the second that there's a group of feminine people, we will band together and root out the evil, which is the masculine energy.
I mean, when we had Axel, no one was ganging up on them. I think it's just I made a character. I purposely made a character that was going to be this, and I think
You're
it's
right.
working great.
You're so right. You're so right. I missed him. You're so right.
In all fairness, you're not like the villain of the group. You're the glue that holds us together with hatred.
We need it, honestly. Like
Exactly.
we need it.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point.
We all have our own agendas, but I'm the one that's keeping us all together.
Bro, you hate us.
Yes, and you all hate me, and that's what's keeping you all together.
It's mutual hatred.
Yeah.
actually pretty accurate. Let's go to Valkyrie.
Hello, I am Valkyrie. I am playing Mara, your hopefully favorite tiefling rogue, considering there are very, very many of them. I am also.
You're not bisexual by any chance, would you be?
Jesus.
Is that what that means?
Wait, you don't know?
Okay, look. Here's the thing, right?
Me deleting so many.
I realized afterwards, I came out last year as bi, and then I was like, oh, I really like this character Mara, and then I went, oh.
Yeah, you really like this character,
baby.
Mara. Yeah.
Like really like this character, Mara.
Not only are you a tiefling, you're a purple tiefling. That's extra bi.
Yeah.
And I honestly, the
I
rogue
just want to
yeah.
see the bi colors, okay?
Big bi vibes.
big bi energy,
Yeah.
okay?
Fucking Valkyrie last year, I'm so straight. I'm gonna play a tiefling that is the literal bisexuality color. But I'm
Look,
so straight.
It took me 27 years, because I came out on my
It's a
27. It took me
journey.
27 years. I got there eventually, all right?
We would love to see it.
That's
Also,
the important part.
I like the fact that me and Kat are now hi, Kat.
Like, is that what it means? Oh fuck.
It's like we're next to each other. It's Team Daddy issues.
Yeah. We built a lot into this.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's me. Thanks, guys, for the
Kat.
early afternoon roast.
Hi, I'm Kat. And I didn't build a team. I have a fetchling Magus. So, and she likes to start fights. And she also has daddy issues. she, her, or they, them for both of us. And yeah, I've honestly lost steam for my introduction because I'm just really thinking about things.
Hey,
Like you're living through Mara, right? That's what's happening. Yeah, okay.
2022
That's
is the year of
why
realizing.
honestly, it's great. We love to see it.
It's
Bro, it's
gross,
only
right?
April.
No,
I don't have time.
I realized that I use they pronouns as well when I played in a game of Burn Bright as a bunch of telepathically connected sentient bugs named Zasper, who went by they them. So we realized
And we
things
were
to our
like,
characters. And I was like,
oh.
And
I am
you were like,
also a bunch of sentient telepathic bugs. It makes sense. But that one guy, that one bug there, he uses he pronouns. So I'm going to add that as well
Yeah.
to make him feel okay.
you
Song
do
is using
realize I'm now going to refer to you as Drac, the group of sentient bugs, right?
Please do.
I just
You
wanted
can't be
to
the
look-
lone
I just-
Drac then. You can't be
No.
the lone Drac.
I can't be
Yeah,
alone.
how do you
Is this
define
The
really
lone
how y'all
Drac.
figured it
Just
out?
put it
Because I
in.
just realized I wanted girls to call me daddy, and then I was like, oh, that must mean something.
Oh no! I've always told people to call me daddy too. Look, I'm not saying that TikTok has put me on lesbian TikTok and
Oh
I have
my
to look at my
God.
husband and be like,
TikTok knows you better than you do. I'm just gonna.
I know. I'm like, I have to tell my husband something.
So Pathfinder, right?
so how's everybody doing
Look,
tonight?
look, Val, if it makes you feel better, my character write-in, my personal write-in is also a tiefling rogue.
you.
So if it makes you feel better. All right, now that everyone has done their announcements and we
It's
have
gonna be a
roasted
really good
everyone,
session.
it's gonna be a phenomenal session. Let's talk about some ways that you can support this cast. One of those ways is to donate directly. You can donate directly to the cast, and we have 3 different goals that we are trying to reach. The first goal, if we hit, they get a deadly D8. They get to add a D8 to a random roll that they can choose to that they feel is very, very important. Second one is I totally forgot what it is. It's an item. I will remember it eventually. It is a very phenomenal item. It's a secret item.
Is it the
secret
item that makes things appear? We can store it somewhere and it does the thing and it appears when we need it.
You all got that last season.
Okay.
Yeah, I
We
think.
did. I don't think
ooh.
Now
we
I'm
did.
concerned as to what this new one is.
Exactly.
I have it. We just haven't used it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
And we can't
And-
put Ori in it. We learned that.
And then if we manage to hit our third goal, we are going to be giving away a set of dice. I'm gonna pull that set of dice out. They are actually they're pretty fucking cool, I'll be honest. So they're like green powder.
Ooh.
Like they're I'm trying to figure out the best.
There we go.
If you buy now, you also get a free hot plate.
Yeah, they are pretty. They
There
are.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice. That's
yeah.
sick. Those
Those
are
look
hazel
good.
and dice.
Yeah. And they've got this kind of like not powder coat to them, kind of a powder coat. So you know how normal dice are like shiny. These are like matte. These are like have a matte finish to them. So it's really very interesting. So if we manage to get that third goal, we will do a giveaway here in chat for that dice. It is April. Is April 1st. I don't celebrate April Fool's Day. Y'all can, but I don't. So I'm actually going to be announcing what QueueTimes' giveaway for this month is. We're going to be trying to do a giveaway every single month. Last month we gave away the stretch goal 1 and the stretch goal 2 from 1985 games. This month we are giving away a beautiful metal red dice set
Ooh.
from Die Hard Dice.
I think I have the blue version of that. I think.
Those are pretty.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, those
Are they
really
fun to
cool.
roll, Drac? Are they your
Those are the
favorite?
ones I've been rolling and getting ridiculous numbers on. So yes.
Oh,
they're
God,
very
There you
fun
go,
to roll.
winning endorsement.
I'm gonna write that down. I just
Yeah,
got
I was
paid.
gonna say good to know.
So we will be giving
Yeah.
away that this month. It's going to be on our Twitter account. It's not there, but because you're watching not Quarter Corvettes, because you're watching Parliament of Owls,
What about
you all are the first people to find out about it and be prepared for it. So that is that. Other ways that you can support us is if you want to buy your own set of Die Hard dice. Both of those sets of dice that I showed off today are both Die Hard dice. If you want to buy your own set, if you use the code QueueTimes, you get a 10% discount off of your purchase. And a portion of the purchase comes back to QueueTimes and then comes back to this cast, where we will be splitting up the profit from that. Also, there is a... What was is it? Is this business
This group?
All of us was like,
I don't know what's happening right now, but
we're selling the product, okay?
Also,
You're
Yes.
speaking,
Jake.
we're posing.
Can I also point out it's April 2nd? All right, get with the times.
Okay,
it's April
wait.
2nd
a
where it
much
counts,
better day.
bitch.
Okay, so anyway, to my
Yeah,
fellow
that
clowns,
got-
aka Americans, happy Flows.
Yeah.
Look,
Happy April Fool's Day.
Wow.
To my fellow clowns.
just because you guys
I
aren't
mean, I
cool
guess
enough to be in my
we could
time
be
zone.
like, yeah, it's April 2nd, April Fool.
we live in different.
Oh
we
my
live
God,
in
we live in
different
the
time
future.
What was that?
Was
What was that,
that,
Liv?
was that meant to be Drac or me? I couldn't
I
tell.
can't tell.
I'm just trying to embarrass the both of you.
I don't know. To be honest, you just embarrass
You're
yourself.
And then the last thing is we have partnered with 1985 Games. If you want to purchase something from 1985 Games, there will be a link that will be going out in the chat. They are a tabletop company that does like just heightens your overall game. They've got cool stuff like pop outs for your table. They've got maps. They've got this really cool deck of like, you pull it out and it will give you random encounters, or you can actually build encounters with the deck. It's really, really interesting. And they've got a series of them. So yeah, check them out. That is another way that you can support QueueTimes. I think that's it. Yes. So on to the intro. And we're back from that intro. Secrets, what we were talking about. So as we left off, we're going to start with a little bit of a recap of what happened last episode, since I'll be honest, I'm going to clip that end of last episode just for the fact that I know my face, at least the jaw portion, was on the floor at the end of last episode. So Imra managed to get his mother alone in a weakened state to finally take over and kill her. Something that he has been trying to do ever since a child. And in the process, he himself has now become a full-fledged vampire. How that's going to work is going to be something that not only you, the audience, are going to discover, but Drac themselves.
Yeah.
Because I haven't told them how it's going to change, other than one aspect. So we'll see how that works. And after doing this, releasing the bond that Imra's mother had on Moldovia. Did I say that right?
Malvolia.
Malvolia.
Moldovia is a country. But last week I definitely said it Malvolvia, so that was embarrassing.
That's a Freudian slip if ever I've had.
Look, we know what you were thinking about. It's okay.
We all know.
We're all tieflings, all right? I get it.
We're all
I'm an ally,
okay? You're an ally.
Ally.
I feel called out.
So release those bonds to then turn around and immediately take those bonds for himself. The group did manage to take out 4 what seemed to be scouts from the Golden Dawn, preparing to figure out what exactly was going on in the castle. We're going to start in that exact moment. You all stand there in the muck and mud of war. Death not only is all around you, but it's literally what you're stepping on. The bodies and corpses of the undead of, well, the undead of vampires, the undead of the people that lived in this city. And it's not the sunset, but instead it is a burning, bright light coming from the horizon where you know the Golden Dawn stands as their armies build into their position. Malvolia looks at you, Imra, clearly furious and clearly angry. If she had the ability to rip your throat out, she would at this very moment. She just stares at you. Well, if there's something you need me to do. If not,
Yes. I and I suppose the rest of us are going to head somewhere for safety, but I'm going to need you to learn as much as you can about the Golden Dawn, or whatever they go by.
Besides the fact that they are a murderous, rampaging group of people that are set out to kill people like you and I?
Yes, other than that, that alone isn't really helpful. I just need to know what they're planning after this, any movements they have in mind, what's their big goal, any weaknesses that you can figure out, whether just intel or physical. Because I cannot stop them from taking the castle now, but I do intend on taking it back eventually.
She nods and starts walking. The plop of mud on from each foot, as you can tell that it's not just her footsteps, but it is the weight of knowing what the taste of freedom felt like. Something she hadn't tasted in 200 years. You all stand around and you see Imra say this. What would you all like to do?
Can I quickly go up to the nearest body and can I take lay soul in my little hagstone?
No, because you would have to be the one that took the life.
Yeah.
Did I not kill one of them? I feel like I did.
Oh, you're talking about
the
Golden Dawn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll divide them. I'll go back and I'll watch. We'll add that to the.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I thought you were just talking about like a random dead body on the ground. I'm like,
I want to go up to all of the bodies. No. It's like, which one of you? No. Sweet, cool.
We should. Sorry. My whole body.
Are you okay?
This game.
Are you all right? Oh my god.
The fog really.
Good. That mist stuff's really bad in the throat.
It's the yeah.
What I was trying to say was that we should go. We should absolutely leave.
Finally.
As soon as possible. And
Yes,
as quickly as we can.
That's a good idea. I think we can go to the stables and see if there's any horses left. I don't think we'll make it very far on foot, so at least some kind of steed will be useful.
Okay.
And Ori's like, I have a horse, and she's literally like with both hands.
Yes,
Good
you
for
do.
you, little one. Good for you. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
Follow me.
You head towards the stables. And as you head towards the stables, you all see that there are still civilians and like part of the military of the kingdom still in the castle, waiting to figure out what the hell is going on. They were waiting on the words of Imra's mother, and
Okay.
they're just standing there.
I think seeing them stand there, I will like turn to others and go, I suppose I should address everyone here, but if you want to go to the stables and get that started, and I'll just like give them tell them the directions to the stables. Whether or not they actually leave and do that, I don't think even he's sure that they're gonna do it, because last time he told them to leave, they didn't. But he's gonna tell them the direction to the stables and then walk towards the millet.
I mean, that sounded like an order, and all three of us don't do orders.
No, but Alma doesn't want to fucking be here, so yeah, she gives
Make
him like
it look like it's our idea.
No, she does give him like a quick like, don't tell me what to do, and then goes.
I kind of want to like watch the shit fight of you trying to address people, but I also want to get the fuck out because that sun is rising.
I'm not dying for him.
Never die for
Wouldn't
a man.
ask for you.
Well, you're not a man, but
Yes.
Never die for the masculine personality.
Yeah. Yes, I wouldn't ask you to do that anyway. So once everyone leaves, he's going to address everyone. I see that you're all still waiting.
Stand
for
up
Rosario.
straight. The voice in the back of your head.
There's a moment he definitely pauses and bites his tongue and then stands up straighter and then projects his voice a bit louder. I see you're all still waiting for orders from the Queen. When I'm in,
you see them start to wrestle and look over at you as you're the first person to say anything to them in a while.
well, I'm here to inform you that she's dead.
Sort of. The voice in the back of your head.
And I'll be entirely honest with you, because I think that's the best way to find the weeds. I killed her. So
literally you hear like gasps from the audience, like, oh, like no one's moving. They're just like,
The Golden Dawn, I believe is what they go by, is quickly approaching, and we've lost many soldiers already from the undead army that attacked. We do not stand a chance against them at the current moment. So I need all of you as quickly as you can to escape to any nearby towns and cities and lay low. I will send people to tell you when to regroup, because we will be regrouping and taking the castle back. But in the meantime, I need you all to remain safe.
the civilians literally just start running immediately. The army, they all kind of move like cluster towards each other, and you can hear them talking. You can see one of the women wearing like slightly more ordained armor steps forward and goes, while your statement is correct, you will pay for this. And they turn and walk away.
How far away are they from me right now?
I mean, you were probably up on, I would say that you're probably, I don't know, 15, 20 feet, not like crazy far.
Do I know her name?
No.
No. Okay. I'm going to use my ability.
Okay.
Let me get the details of it real quick. Captive audience. So I roll a diplomacy check against their will DC. So I tell her, you say that I'm going to pay, correct? Turn around and answer me. And I'll roll against their DC. That is, I think it's a 34.
That succeeds. She turns, she like pauses and then turn and goes, "You admitted to a crime. Did you think that that's not worthy of punishment?"
Oh, no. I'm fully aware of the crime. Like I said, I stated it to be able to weed out all the weeds, and clearly you are one of them. And I would like to cast, now that they have them as my minion, I would like to cast Final Sacrifice on them.
Okay.
So I point at them and just go, and we take out the weeds, and they just immediately blow up. It's an instant death.
Blood splatters in every single direction, covering the armor and the floor with everything that this person once was. You can tell that while you accomplished your goal, you can see in the faces of these people, you have definitely built an enemy in every single one of them. While before you were probably in the clear, maybe possibly would have paid for this, you have definitely built an army of hatred. They scatter and run in every direction.
Can I probably wipe some blood off, and I'll head over to meet with the rest of the group at the stables.
The rest of you can hear the gasps and the running of everyone. In fact, while you're in the stables grabbing horses, people are running in and grabbing horses as well to get the hell out.
Like getting in our way, or
No. I guess I'm
Okay.
making the assumption that each of you grabbed your own horse,
Yeah.
or walking them out as people are running in to grab horses.
Yeah, definitely.
So you all aren't to that, and you see Imra literally wiping blood off of their clothes.
We should get going.
All done?
Yes,
Went
I
that
think
well,
I'm
huh?
all done.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Mara gets
let's
on the
go.
horse.
Yeah, we're fucking
Just
out of
take
here.
off.
Yeah.
We are leaving.
Lenny doesn't really care, so
Yeah.
it's like,
Nice.
okay,
That's nice.
whatever.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.
I'm out. Peace.
Hops on top of the horse and
Yeah.
is
I'll
ready to
jump on
ride
mine as
off
well.
in
Yeah.
whatever direction we're going. I don't know if we've
Out.
discussed. Yeah.
You start to hear screaming.
I mean,
That's
that does tend
so
to follow
sad.
Rides faster.
Yeah, we
Wow.
just
Oh
keep-
my god.
We're going.
So
So
you
unfortunate.
get on the horses and you start to ride out, and as you do that, you see all of the citizens that were originally running out still there, and they're at the gates trying to escape, and they're
Oh, the gates.
unable to get out.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, I thought it was getting straight up attack. If there's at gates, I will open the gates. I didn't.
And as you start walking to the gates, you're cutting through the group to get to the gates, and at the gate controls, there's about a dozen Golden Dawn men.
Not this.
You didn't think to check that there wasn't golden fuckboys up there?
What is that meant to mean?
You told
They're
all
still
these people to
approaching.
leave.
I was not aware that there were Golden Dawn people here at the current moment. within the castle walls.
All right. So, how the fuck are we going to get out of here? Because if those gates don't rise, unless some of us have portals where we can sort of go outside there.
On the top of the gate, a single person walks to the center
Ugh.
and holds up a horn and starts to speak through it. And goes, "Who here claims to be the leader of this kingdom?" And literally everyone steps aside and looks at Imra on the horse.
Lenny points
Imra's-
right at him.
Mara does as well.
Imra is like immediately thrown over anyway the moment they said that the leader's kingdom. So yeah, so he trots over and just goes, and who do I owe the pleasure?
We should have a conversation, don't you think?
I'm always happy to talk.
And he starts to walk down, and as he starts to walk down, the gate starts to crank open just a small amount, and they start letting the civilians leave, but do not let any of the army leave. It's about that time that actually all of you roll me a perception check. It's awesome. I can see Cat's
Well,
rolls.
If it landed on my thighs and it still landed on a number, does that work?
I mean,
Only if it saves your life.
It was an 18, so
Yes. then it
sounds good
counts.
to me.
thanks,
The rule
thighs.
is 6 dice save lives.
Six
so only
Thighs
check the
do
rolls
save
that
lives,
save-
guys.
There
I
you
got
go.
10.
You got 10?
Bro.
10 total?
You should have rolled on your thighs, man.
What's your
rolled on your thighs.
perception?
Plus 7. So
Oh no.
Cool.
I rolled a dirty 20.
I rolled a 17.
What'd you get total?
28.
28. Imra and Mara, the two of you look back towards the flame and see that it is in fact a giant bonfire. And you look in the other direction and you see there is the army. This entire push from one direction was just to push you into the arms of the enemy.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
You see that, right? Not just me.
Yes, I see it.
Great.
I see it too.
It's like, totally, yeah.
Good job. Good job.
I was thinking the same thing.
It isn't long before people start popping up on the castle walls with bows ready, holding tight. And the guy that was up at the very top starts to walk forward and looks up to Imra and says, "Well, are you going to step down and talk to me face to face, or do you like to stand on a horse so you feel better about yourself?"
No, actually, we're just heading out. Yes, fine. I'll jump off the horse.
So are
So-
you the only member of the leadership?
Yes.
All right, kill the rest of them. And he starts to walk away with you. As the army starts to like move in to a circle, pushing them tighter and tighter together. The three of you are in that group.
We're
I
not
would-
from here.
I would like to tell them. I would this person, I don't think I've got their name, but I would tell them that those three, and I will point out those four. I'll point out Ori, Alma, Mara, and Lenny, and go, those three are not quite leadership, but considerably up there. I think it's probably best to at the very least keep them alive.
Oh, he cares.
Much better. Please And he looks at the four of you and goes, "Come join us." Also, just kidding about the killing part. They can go. And sure enough, the gate opens and allows the members of the military to leave. By the way, the name is William Robert Woodman. You can call me Mr. Woodman. How does that sound?
Yes, I would prefer that. You can call me Mr. Adeleth.
Mhm.
I don't think I will, but I appreciate the offer.
Do I know anything about this
Is there a
person?
suitable place for all of us to sit and talk, or is this the best?
This is the best.
Great. I'm looking very specifically for one thing, and I don't care about the rest. I want to know where the Black Dragon is.
I'll be honest with you. I wish I could tell you, but I have no clue.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it for me. Not knowing is far from the least, especially since I can smell him on all of you.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
We bathe on like some people.
Do we?
Lenny, please.
Fuck's
Oh.
sake.
Lenny,
Sorry.
you're supposed to be bathing.
What?
Just because we are in his general vicinity without our consent doesn't mean that we're with him.
I don't believe
You
that's
have
how it
been
means, Mara.
tainted by
Doesn't
his
mean
magic. I can smell it on the four of you. That one, not so much. Pointing to Ori.
Don't mind me, I have a furry shark. Give me a second.
Wait, okay. So, do I really quick? I have things I'm planning. I have things I want to know. Do I know anything about this man's?
You can roll me an occult roll if you'd like.
Ooh.
Can I also roll for this?
Yeah, I would
Absolutely,
like to.
anyone can. You have been given additional information.
Also, what is this dickhead's name again?
William something
Robert
William
Woodman.
Robert Woodman.
Woodman.
What a fucking dick! I'm so
Can
mad.
I-
I have all this occultism, and I got a 14.
I rolled a nat 20, baby. Everybody get on that. Donate so you can win these dice. These
I was
dice are
gonna say,
incredible.
they're
I'm
loaded.
gonna get
Get the
I'm
dice.
gonna buy those fucking dice, man.
What?
I have half a mind to just use the dice I made the other day. They're fucking shit. But I like at this
You
point.
need
I'm
to
hoping a
send me the
prayer.
picture. You didn't even tell me you made the
Fucking
dice.
chill.
You made dice and you didn't
What
tell
the
us.
hell?
I got a
bad.
15.
I got a 31 with my.
So, William Robert Woodman is the founder of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. He is one of 3 founders. They're individually unique and different themselves, but all 3 of them have occult and magic or arcane powers and abilities.
Okay.
They themselves sometimes call themselves warlocks.
Okay.
Can I
That's
also
fucking
point
rich.
out that as soon as we found out his name, Mara sort of giggled and sort of leant over to Lenny and was like, his name's Willie Woodman.
Lenny also is just like,
I'm hoping that you guys were close enough to be able to hear that as well, because it just
In fact, I want to roll a composure roll. I think. Hey, guess what? Maybe I rolled a nat 1. Let's go. I rolled a nat 1, so even Imran's like.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. What is it? What is that? Fucking diplomacy? Yeah, I'm gonna roll a diplomacy, and I got well over 20. So like, not a fucking like not a chance. Like
the group of us, and you're just Stoic.
That's 100%. Like the like slight nobility that like she's ever been exposed to pops out, and she's just like completely composed. I'm gonna do something really stupid.
I love this.
Do it. Let's go.
I love stupid.
Jake, I would like to cast mind reading.
Okay. Could you please read that to me?
Should I not do it?
No. This is beautiful.
You're doing it.
You have to do it. You gotta
You
commit.
said it now.
Now we're too excited.
Okay. With a cursory mental touch, you attempt to read the target's mind. It must attempt a will save. And the target then becomes temporarily immune to my mind reading for 1 hour. And depending on the success, we'll see. Fuck, what's my freaking...
So it makes a will save.
Yeah.
So I feel very bad for you because
Yeah, this isn't gonna work for me.
Can I guess what it is?
sure.
Can I guess? Is it like around 50?
I rolled a 3.
But he has
Okay,
like
but
a
I'm talking
20.
about
Yeah.
their willpower
Yeah.
in general.
So it's a 25
plus like
Okay. We can work
Yeah.
with that. We can work with that.
You know what? Honestly, wait. I didn't roll my portent roll for the day.
No, you didn't.
I don't know. I feel like if you make them roll a 1, they still get a 23.
It's
You're
still,
right.
it's a 23, but it counts as 1 level lower.
Lower than a 6. Okay.
Because
so
with a
it'd be
nat
failure
1,
still.
it's even if
Oh, it
it's a
brings it
success, it
down.
counts as a failure.
So you just
Okay,
basically need to roll a
well-
1.
Yeah, I didn't. I have a portent roll saved up, ready to go though. My portent rolls are like truly mid tier. I never get like a 3. I never get like a 19. They're always mid.
Would you
Mid.
like me to
I think
send
that's
you
honestly
my
useful.
pair of dice that is currently in dice jail?
I was gonna
Not
say
at
I
all.
have a few that I can.
I
probably
all these
Yeah.
dice,
'Cause
and I fucking
these
roll
two
like
are
shit. Are you
assholes.
kidding me? God. Anyway,
Remember, everyone, we're
Um,
going to be giving away a set of Die Hard.
Yeah.
And they're
And
the
they
ones
actually
what?
roll
that are
well.
rolling really well.
They roll
And you
really
wanna-
for the
well.
only
listen,
set.
I'm not going to talk a lot of shit about the other companies that I got my dice from because they're all great companies. But do you know who I do not have dice from? Die Hard Dice. So that's just maybe that's on me.
I
Maybe
guess
I'm
we found the
sipping.
problem. I guess we found the
You,
problem.
honestly, yeah.
So that's a success, right?
What? Yeah, I don't. What's your DC? Your spell class? DC?
21.
Yes,
21.
so it's a success.
Yeah, okay, but it's not a critical success, and that's all that really
Correct.
matters. Okay, you find out whether the target's intelligence modifier is higher than, equal to, or lower than my own. And mine is. Hello, baby, where are you? Yo, what the fuck?
I was
I
about
don't
to
know what
reply
it
with,
is.
"Hey baby, I'm right here," but I'm like, that's so fucking lame.
Okay, we get it. You're a tiefling.
We get it.
That has nothing to do with that. That's about me and
That-
Valkyrie's very
we have a
close
thing,
relationship.
okay?
We have a thing. Okay, we get each other. Actually, we really do. but
We really do.
I don't know what my intelligence is right now, but
Wait,
I'm
don't
sure
you
it's
have your
higher.
Do you have your character?
I have it up. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 18.
Should be-
Or my modifier is +4. But
So what? I'm sorry. What was the statement before, like about the spell?
I get to find out if his intelligence modifier is higher than, equal to, or lower than my own, and mine's +4.
It is equal to.
Okay, almost much smarter than I am. Everybody, just heads up.
Look, we're all living our dreams,
Okay.
Liv.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see as he pauses, and he looks back at the group, and he looks a little. So, the 5 of you. 4 of you have the stink of the Black Dragon. We are looking for Alistair. He stole something from us, and we need it back.
May I ask what it was he stole?
You may, but I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not entirely sure we can be much help if you don't know what you're looking for.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
Of all the people that can roll a good diplomacy check, it's gonna be Imra.
My diplomacy's stacked, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not here to make you fail. I'm here to make you roll the things that you're trying to do.
The dice are here to make us
fail. No, not those dice, because they're
yeah,
die-hard
true. You have the
dice.
good one.
Donate so you can get those dice in rank. I got 30 for diplomacy.
A 30. He looks at you and he goes, "What do you know about Project Monarch?"
Do I know anything about Project Monarch? Does this ring a bell?
No, it does not ring a bell to you.
Does it ring a bell to any of us?
Yeah.
Are we listening to this? I'm assuming we're listening to this.
Yeah, he's speaking to all of you.
Oh, fuck yeah. Do I recall anything about this in my many years of living in hell?
Nope. Never heard of Project Monarch.
How good is Lenny's poker face? I need to know.
Yeah, make a perception check on the vibes in this tent.
I don't think this is
Vibe check,
Lenny or
please.
Kat that we're reading right now. Is Lenny easy to read or is Kat easy to read?
I'm gonna be honest. That was Kat being like, I feel like I've heard of this. What does Lenny know about this?
Lenny knows that Project Monarch is a organization that takes small children and raises them to be soldiers, assassins, killers, but wipes their mind so that they're unaware of it. They just use a term or a phrase that clicks them on to do their task so that they are the perfect assassins. They live, breathe, and do not know what they really are until a very specific phrase is said to them, and then they turn on. And Project Monarch is something that you're aware of. And the reason why Lenny is aware of it is because Lenny was mistaken as a member of it. And because Lenny is such a phenomenal fighter, and the fact that Lenny just all of a sudden becomes significantly stronger in the midst of combat or right before combat when she uses her special ability, she was mistaken as a member of Project Monarch, and someone came up to Lenny in your past and said a phrase or a word to you, and you just looked at them and confused by what they were trying to say to you. It's always intrigued you, but it's never been something that you were like, you dug deep into. You are aware of it. You know that it exists. It's mostly rumor to most other people. And it goes by a bunch of different names, but Project Monarch is the name that you know.
She doesn't really say anything, but she does, like, she probably does, like, make a motion, like, kind of taken aback, I would guess. But she also doesn't know if any of you know about it either. So she's gonna wait and see.
And he looks over and goes, "So none of you?"
No.
Well, let's just say he has stolen quite a few very important documents from us involving Project Monarch. Names of people that we need to keep safe. And now he has them. And we feel that he's going to use them for his own sick and twisted means. So we're trying to search for him. And I can tell that the four of you are connected to him. So, my question to you, one last time, before I have to become mean. Where is Alistair?
Alistair told us that he was leaving. but he did not tell us where.
You
That is
just
the truth.
you just disappeared and left.
And he looks over at all of you and goes, I can believe that. But you must understand, I can't let you go. You're a danger to not only yourselves, but others.
Oh, I'm the danger to myself here. Me sitting here in a room with you.
And he walks over to you. And he reaches out and touches the side of your face, just softly.
I slapped the fuck out of his hand.
What do you not understand about consent? What the fuck?
Personal space mean nothing to you.
You're special.
Creepy.
Do you know that?
I'm very aware.
Have you ever thought about being a member of the Golden Dawn?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You want to sit here and complain about a couple of papers that were stolen when you've stolen lives, countless lives, just killed my sisters. You think that I would even... You're lucky I'm even talking it to you.
Yeah, how will the sisters feel that you're spilling your guts to me? Are they going to kill you too? Should I just let you go and let them do it instead? That would be fun, wouldn't it?
I haven't told you anything.
You've taken the mark from a known person that the witches are after. And now you're talking to a member of the Golden Dawn. I feel like your best chances of survival is to kneel.
I would rather choke on my own blood than ever do anything to help you.
Since you are such a magnificent creature, I'll give you this. Would you rather be burned or would you rather drowned? I have to prepare both, so
Mr. Woodman, while Alistair did not tell the others where he was headed, he did in fact tell me. And
he looks away and looks back at Alma and leans in and goes, I hear if you drowned, it's euphoric before you go. And then he turns back around and walks over to Imra.
What shit is this dude into? Like, I don't kink shame, but that's fucked.
Lenny's absolutely leaning over and being like, is he flirting?
Side note, burning to death is like one of the most painful things because you're alive the entire time. Drowning, you lose oxygen and you become high right before you die. So like that was a real statement. It's become euphoric like right before you die.
And welcome to True Crime with Parliament of Owls. Today on True Crime, we're going to learn how it is to die while drowning.
Look, Val, if you want to start that podcast, I have a server.
Dude,
we can make that happen.
You
Have
and
me
me
as a
making
guest,
a True Crime
bestie.
podcast. I'm just so fucking down with that. Just weird fucking facts about true crime.
Cat
I'm
has to be
holding
the
you to that
first guest
now.
for
I'm
sure.
writing that down in my notes. That's what we're doing.
So he walks over to you, Imra, and he goes, understand that if you're lying to me, I'm going to make your death more painful.
I'm fully aware.
And in the back of your head, you hear, he's not going to kill you. I am. So we need to get out of this.
Knowing the geography of this world, what is the... So I know where we're probably going to be heading. What's the exact opposite direction of like
what
any
direction
allies
did you want to like? So to the north is mountains. To the south is more buildings. There's more like civilization that way. The north would be a much harder route to go. but it might be safer in the fact that you wouldn't have as many people. But at the same time, I don't imagine y'all as a roughing it kind of group. So,
I mean, yeah.
to the east is the ocean, and to the west is more inland.
And is there any like country or nation beyond the mountains?
Yes.
Up north? Okay.
Yeah. Up north, past the mountains, there's trees and forests for a while. It's very naturey. There's and then once it passes that, there is some. It's very much Fey territory in that
Okay.
area, and then to the north of that is desert, like
Oh, okay.
hard desert.
I don't have an exact location for you, but after the kind of gestures out at the undead and vampires lying around, after taking on so much for us, they needed some time to rest and said they were heading up north. That's all I know.
Tell him you know where the Hermetic Seal is.
I know where the Hermetic Seal is.
And while he had this very lackadaisical, he's in control and he knows exactly where this is going to go, he stops immediately and looks. You tell. And in the back of your voice, in the back of your head, you hear, string him along. Make him wait for it. I will tell you, but make him wait. If you tell him now, he'll just kill you.
Why do you seem so eager to find out where it is?
You know, I would call you a child, but you're older than I am.
Yes.
The Hermetic Seal is extremely important. It is there to stop what is forthcoming and will happen.
Would you like to elaborate?
You can tell in his body that he doesn't want to say, but the fact that you even knew the term Hermetic Seal causes him to hesitate and wait. And he goes, I'll be honest, you've surprised me greatly. I must prepare. Let's have this conversation over dinner. How does that sound?
I look to the rest of the group.
It's a cat right next to us.
I look to the rest of the group, but I definitely give a pointed eye contact with Alma.
I don't have anything to say to this. Sorry excuse for a man.
You won't need to speak. It'll just be your last meal.
Mm.
I need you to guarantee, at the very least, their safety.
Until we speak later, they will be safe.
And after?
After depends on how well this conversation goes. You could
Okay.
be lying. You could have just known a few special words and put them together. I'm not quite sure exactly what your mother told you. I also want to know about that as well. How did that even come about? You would be the first child of a vampire. How did that even happen?
You really are a perv. Asking all these invasive questions.
Really personal questions.
He looks over at Lenny and Alma, and he goes, "I'm sorry. Is my questions hurting your delicate sensitivity?"
No, I just find you absolutely repulsive.
Yeah,
And I
not my type.
find you absolutely ravishing.
Oh,
Ah!
I hate everything about this. No. Ugh.
So dinner. Alma, I'll make sure that your seat is right next to mine. I'll see you all shortly. And he walks away, and about 24 guards literally walk up to the four of you as you look around and no longer see Ori. The horse is there.
Finally, she's rolled a higher stealth than I could do.
And the horse is still there. And so the guards move up to the four of you and goes, "We'll be taking you to your place of rest for the moment."
Oh my god, just say dungeon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. We were told to treat you well,
Oh,
treat you kindly.
Ugh.
You won't be put in the dungeon. We would rather treat you nicely.
So you think that treating people nicely gets you away from the fact that you're just committing genocide, right?
And the guard looks at you and goes,
I don't even let him fucking answer. I just turn around and just ignore him and just go, "Whatever helps you sleep at night, honey."
"I don't need to sleep at night." And then he kind of like pauses. He's like, "No, hold on. No, that's not what I."
You just.
You've lost any steam you had.
Fool.
Let's go. And the guards
You
literally
don't
kind
play
of
with a tiefling, man. You just don't.
This man is clearly not an ally.
Not an ally.
Not an ally.
Not even a little bit.
It's
No.
not a vibe either.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, he the group pushes you all forward and pushes you back to your original rooms that you were staying in, but now there is multiple guards everywhere, preventing you from entering or exiting, like leaving in any sense. They are all over the place.
the entire time, like even during the conversation, and I think especially when obviously no one else knows this, but when his mother was speaking in his head, there was a lot of like subconscious tics that he definitely didn't have previously that would definitely got more intense every time she spoke. So the whole time he seems more I guess brutish, like someone who's violent trying to hold it back. You can tell he's like cracking his knuckles as he's walking.
Yeah, almost gonna like fall into step next to Imran. Just okay, what's wrong?
Can I double down on that and be on the other side, but like
You've been
loop my arm into his and just hold on.
Lenny's walking behind, just like looking at her switch scythe.
She's just looking back at them, just being like,
switch. Like she's just checking it on Animal
Yeah,
Animal Crossing, Legend of
Damn
Zelda.
you, Tom Nook, damn you.
No,
what's going on?
nothing.
What's wrong?
Nothing, just everything went wrong. Immediately, the moment we arrived here, an army of the undead. Now these people.
Yeah.
And in the back of your head, you hear, I knew you were always strongest when you were surrounded by women.
God, I wish
Aren't
I
we
could hear
all?
this bitch. Oh my god.
This is the reverse. This is the reverse of a harem. It's just 3 women that all hate Emra.
Oh yeah.
All of us just weaved out and we're just like, oh my god.
Technically, now at this point it's 5, right? You know, like I guess
Yeah.
doesn't meet.
Ori doesn't hate Imra. Ori just, I don't know what Ori
Ori
feels about
just
Imra, honestly.
Ori's.
Ori's
just
Imra, yeah.
Never mind, I'm not gonna go down that because then we're gonna get down into weeb spiral.
Yeah,
I'm pulling myself out of the weeb hole.
Yeah,
I'm pulling myself out of the
don't
weeb
try.
hole. So almost on the other side, and you were like, everything's gone to shit. No, it hasn't been the best trip to your hometown. Kind of shit, actually, but
Yes.
When he hears that and says, "Your home sucks."
Mara
Thank you, Lenny.
chuckles. Can I say also that Mara sort of like digs her nails into the arm that she's holding, and she's sort of like, "You do realize we cannot go to this dinner. We need to leave, right?"
How exactly do you expect to leave?
I don't know. You're the one that knows this castle.
You're the one that knows about this seal? What's that about?
That sounds fun.
Don't tell them.
Why you got that look on your face? What is...
Why you're
good?
doing it again. Your finger keeps twitching. Like hard.
His
What is
fingers
wrong?
twitching? What the...
Yeah, like if you look.
Oh.
You pay an awful lot of attention to me.
Well, it's kind of like you're the one who got us in this entire fucked situation. And now if this man who's horny for genocide kills me, it's your fault.
I don't know about that. It seems to be he's way more knowledgeable about you than me.
Can they get horny?
What do you know about the Golden Dawn? Everything seems incredibly personal to you, and they're taking over my castle.
It seems to be affecting all of us. Your two problems are really affecting us.
Lenny, you also clearly, you do not have much of a poker face.
I'm imagining Lenny like coming up behind all three of us just being like, "Man, this is shit."
Lenny, also, the only reason, I think part of the reason why we came here was because you were hired to bring Emra back here, so I don't think you're innocent.
Never said I was. I just said that your problems have now become my problems. And you already had my problems, so that's really not on me.
This is very heartfelt and everything, but can we do this another time? Because we have
Let's do it
limited
behind
You
time.
think we'll
closed
have
doors.
another time?
Let's talk about this behind closed doors, because I think we're still walking.
Yeah, we are still walking, but Mara's being very quiet where it counts.
Yeah.
And also sort of keep glancing around as well.
You all,
Mainly because like they keep trying to hurt us and she doesn't like hands.
Yeah. No.
you all feel really weird and
Fuck.
and a little weaker than you normally do. Like you're feeling a little bit drained and almost tired. And as you get to the door of the hallway to your rooms, you can they open the door and go, "The rooms are yours. We'll be here. Trying to escape will be instant death." And one of the men takes his necklace off, which is what we out of world would perceive as a cross, right? But this cross has multiple colors. The tip of it is gold. One side of it is red. One side of it is blue. And the bottom of it has a mix of yellow, green, black, and brown. While the center where the crosses meet, I will send you a photo of it because I can see your confusion of what it is.
I'm trying to write it down. And
well, the center of it
working.
is rainbow looking, right?
No, they reappropriated the pride flag. I'm not okay with that.
And he holds it up to you and says, "Don't try anything funny. All right?"
I am just avoiding whatever the fuck that is. Because, like, in the back of her head, Mara's got the whole thing of, like, her demon friend being like, don't let them get near you. Just don't let them get near you.
Imra does
For
the
those
same
of
when he
you,
walks in.
for those of you watching the show or watching the VOD of it, if you head over to our Discord, there is a channel called The Flock, which is the Discord channel that is dedicated for both Parliament of Owls and Court of Corvids. There will be a photo of said cross in which I was speaking of.
Jesus.
This looks like the ugliest coexist bumper sticker I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, yeah, it does.
This is so hideous. This is a graphic. Is graphic design your passion? This is ugly.
That's it. It reminds me of a website circa 1993,
Pause.
which is
Cat,
amusing
please.
because that was the year I was born.
Cat, please.
It does look like kitty paws. It really does.
Cat.
Cat girls ruined our lives, and they're in the form of golden fuckboys.
It does
So-
look
This
like
just
an ugly
feels like
coexist
that.
sticker.
As a side note, as like a witchy pagan kind of chick, all of that symbolism in one place is eye-wateringly like complicated.
They said Control A.
It's like, let's take everything and just put it in there.
Just so
I
ugly.
want everyone to be
Fuck
included.
me.
So hideous.
I
Valk
hate
is
it.
just like, this is so
I
fucking...
hate. That's because I'm looking at it and I'm like, but this is this and this is this and this, and I'm like, oh my god.
I'm gonna be
Like
honest.
she's
in
literally
my
trying
head,
to
I
do
thought it
like
was much
witchcraft
prettier.
math.
So in
Oh, I was
the
gonna
real
put that
world,
away.
that is called the Rose Cross of the Golden Dawn. So
It's a
Okay.
real thing.
yes,
It's too
I
much
hate
for
it
my
here.
brain.
Okay, moving on. We're being sad on our fucking
Go back to
rooms.
fantasy.
so yeah,
Where we're being fucked a little bit less, or
so as you
Brett can
walk
get away
in,
from it.
as you walk in, the door closes, and he has left this in the room.
oh fuck.
Great. Fucking hell.
Can I?
Do any of us like recognize it for anything, or
You can roll in a
oh,
cold.
oh. Do
I'll
we
roll a
have that
cult.
thing that makes things go away?
It doesn't make things go away. It makes them appear
Here
in your
too.
hand.
Yeah, no matter where they are.
Damn it.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was like we can
Ooh.
put it in like some sort of
Yeah.
multi-dimensional pocket space
Yeah, no,
and
that's
get
smart,
it
yeah.
stuck away
Fucking
from
go.
us.
Let's fucking go.
Ooh.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. That's a 29.
got a 22.
Same. I got 29 as well.
29,
Occultism.
29, 22. This is your occult. This is just emanating magic from it. And from what you can tell, it is literally nullifying and absorbing your powers.
Gross.
Worm. Okay. I hate it.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So are we all in one room or in a separate
Yeah,
room?
are
right
we
now?
alone
you
from
remember that
them?
there
Like-
was a hallway and then each of you had your own rooms. They have left you in the hallway to either go into your separate rooms or
Okay.
go into one room or stay in
Yeah.
the hallway. But it's basically a hallway to some bedrooms.
2 bedrooms. Okay.
So we're
Yay.
unsupervised technically right now.
They're
No,
right
Besides
outside
the cross.
the
thing.
cross is there, and then they're on the other side. You can clearly hear that they are on the other side of the door.
Jake, by weakened powers being leached from us, do you also mean that I can't get my ass out of there in the shadows?
You know what? You would have to make an attempt, and we would see how that would work. Imra, can you do me a favor and just roll me a flat d20?
Oh no.
Okay.
That's never
A 13.
Cool. All right. What would you all like to do?
Oh, Jake,
Imra
don't
gets
do
changed.
that.
Imra like goes to his room because half of his like clothes are still burned off from when he was fighting.
That's fair.
Mhm.
Just
Like if
goes-
you die, you might as well look fresh.
Amen.
So true. So true.
It's honestly more like the eyeballs and mouths on his arms are kind of gnashing and blinking, and they kind of don't really like being out in the open.
Oh, they need
Um,
some like saline, man.
Yeah, yeah,
saline
they
and
kind of
some
been
lip
burned.
gloss
Yeah,
and-
Dry as
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah.
Aloe works really well for that, you know.
all the holy
just
energy
also-
is like drying out their eyes. You know? Yeah.
Get some eye drops.
That happens to me in churches as well.
So yeah, he goes.
I'm saying that is me, not Mara.
I am going to get changed and get some rest. I suppose we probably all should. And then we can speak, because Lenny, it seems like
I might
something.
know a
triggered.
little something.
Yeah.
What do you know?
What is the place that would make us the least hearable?
Yeah,
to
I
these
think
boys?
she's trying to get as far from
Honestly,
them as possible.
probably, I feel like Imra's room, purely because of the extra padding of the books and stuff.
Yeah.
on the
That's
shelves.
true.
I was about to
Makes
say
sense.
for the sound like
Yeah.
padding for all of the bonking that you totally do while you're here. Yeah, sure, but books make far more sense.
Yeah, books right.
So,
So
yeah.
I guess they head over into Imra's room
Oh,
just
that's
to
weird
get
as
as
well.
far away from
Mhm,
everyone.
mhm.
And she kind of looks at everyone and is like,
Ooh.
Well, I might know about that Project Monarch. And
Yes.
it's
We're just
Not
cracking open hands. Getting
great.
comfortable. That's a part of it now. We're all just sitting down, like yeah. we're
Imra,
like, yeah.
Imra has like drinks for sure.
Yeah.
"Yeah, just sitting
I'm
back
cracking-
and hanging out."
I'm cracking open a sparkling water, so I was just like, oh, okay.
Imra has
Just
sparkling
being
water for
on.
sure. What do you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, Imra's a sparkling water kind of guy.
Yep. We've all got our
Uh,
yeah. So you know.
Yeah, it's basically this organization that makes children into killers. And they're
Lovely.
kind of like sleeper agents, if you know what that they're not always active. There's a special word, it triggers them, it makes them kill, but I don't know everything that he necessarily has to do with it or anything. I just know it's not great, and I also don't know why our dear Alistair would need any part of it either. It's not really good for anyone.
Oh, I can think of many uses.
Yeah.
How
Well, there's
do you know
uses
about
for
this?
sure, but
Well, it also sounds like he took paperwork, which, I mean, information can be used in a lot of different ways, so.
I would
be
also
trying
say
to make his own.
Well, I was actually going to say you all are smart enough to realize that the paperwork was probably the names and the code words to
Yeah.
activate these
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. Having people utterly under your control, hidden amongst the ranks of most likely countless community civilizations. Incredibly useful to destabilize if you ever want to do that.
And they're kids, so they kind of blend in wherever you need them to.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
No one would suspect a child.
I mean, what's worse than an assassin?
A child.
Hey,
A child assassin.
I was a child assassin. Do you
a
fucking
child
mind?
assassin. Oh,
Oh, this is so awkward.
Guys, I feel attacked right now.
so do you know about this?
Is there a
you're
word
part
for
of
you?
it?
Like, do we say a word?
Do you know
and-
your word? Yeah, you were a child
No.
assassin.
Okay,
Do you-
no. I was a child, and I was also an assassin. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
that's what
about
they're
this
doing.
thing. Yeah, but Hell has their own sort of apprenticeship kind of thing. You feel me?
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
the hell thing. Yeah.
So my question to you is, and she sort of like gets like really up in your face. How do you know about this? Because last time I checked, you get like real crazy like buff and
Yeah,
shit.
it's different, but they definitely think that like some people thought I was a part of it. I'm not, but I just kill people on my own accord. That's not, no one tells me to. I just do it.
You're just a little monster.
Thank you.
That is very
It's the
kind.
nicest thing
Yes.
anyone's ever said to me.
It's so nice. But yeah, I'm not a part of it, but I've definitely been blamed for it and mistaken as a part of it. But I don't know much more than what I've told you.
So what? You've like met one of these creepy butterfly people?
Have I actually met one?
You've never met an assassin. You were basically what you could assume is a handler. Like someone saw you fighting and came up to you and said a series of words
To try to.
stop you.
Okay.
And so that become like so you understand that there is not only a start word, but there's also a stop word.
No, I've never met any of like the actual like child killer ones, but I have met one that commands them. So you know how I said that there's like the on switch, the word that starts them. I think there's also one to kind of turn that off and put them back into kid them instead of killer them. And they tried to do that on me, but they're just words to me. I just kill when I want to.
They try to like make
Yeah,
you
they
do the
tried
thing,
to.
or
They tried to stop me from killing.
oh, well, that's not.
They tried to turn it off. Yeah, no, it was a buzzkill. So I did technically stop killing, but it's more for confusion, not command.
Okay.
But that's what I have to share. So about that seal, Imra. Since we're
And
in the sharing
as
mood.
this happens, the door opens
Oh, fuck's sake.
and someone calls out, Alma.
God damn it, this is my house. Alma stands up and makes like a big show of like flicking her ponytail and smoothing her like clothes. What?
A gift as one of the soldiers walk in with a tray, and on the tray is a box and a single like small vase with a long stem rose in it.
This man is sick.
Mara sort of leans over into Lenny and goes, "Is he flirting with her?"
I'm telling you, I think he's got a crush.
I
That's
don't,
what
I
he's
don't,
gonna kill.
get it.
I'm going to I'm gonna reach into my ponytail. No, I'm gonna have Casper go open the box because I'm not opening that.
Wait, what's opening the box?
My familiar. I'm gonna have my familiar open the box.
The guard sets it on the ground and it like walks over and it's got this weird creepy like because it literally like puts its front feet forward and then its back legs like move in front of it like a cheetah when a cheetah full sprints, but this thing's about this big and has a giant head and big old eyes, so it's just like and it walks over and it picks up the box and it puts its foot on the bottom of it, and it's a small thin box and it lifts up and it is a silver bracelet.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not wearing that.
The guard goes, I don't know what to tell you, and he walks away and closes the door.
Seems awfully personal, Alma.
does this happen a lot? Like, that's
Well, yes,
not gonna
of
lie,
course.
it's real creepy.
Yes, of course. I have had plenty of people send me gifts before, but not like this. This is different.
Your
Am I able
familiar
to-
picks the chain up and like puts it on its head and just like and starts walking back towards you as like it's like almost like the chain hangs down like long earrings.
Yeah. I do lean down and I do kneel down to pick him up, and I'm like, you look very pretty.
Can I
take it off of his head?
Can I, before you even touch that fucking thing?
Oh no!
am
Please
I,
do. Please do. Please do.
Am I
please
able
do.
to roll to figure out if anything funky is up with this?
Or arcane, occult.
That and the rose, because I don't trust shit.
I'm also going to detect magic because I have that as an innate.
Hell
spell.
yeah.
I always forget that.
As you
Okay.
attempt to cast this magic, you feel the aura start to come from you, and it hurts.
Oh fuck.
Oh, okay. I mean, technically speaking, I have this as a feat. I don't know if that means anything.
But it's an innate magic.
yeah.
So
is,
it doesn't like physically do damage. You just feel kind of nauseous.
It's like stomps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Occultism or what?
Or arcane.
Oh yeah, occultism.
Okay, I'm gonna roll arcane.
I want to arcane.
25.
Imra's getting changed. He's not.
Yeah,
We're trying
baby.
to avoid it.
Yeah, that's a good
24.
25,
That's fair.
24. What'd you get, Alma?
1 minute. I'm doing math because I know I'm not doing my math right.
You know what note I actually have from last season?
32.
Oh, math.
No, I have a note that says rhinestone calculator for Liv.
Oh my god.
Now it's reminding me why.
Oh my god.
So all of you look at this bracelet, and you have to look at it, right? When you're making these things, and all of you look at it. You're letting the familiar kind of like hold it up and move it around, so none of you are touching it. None of you read any sort of magic whatsoever on it, but you do see that there is an etching across the metal like bracelet side. Like think of, the bracelets that people wear when they have like allergies or whatever. It's very much like that.
Give her a life alert bracelet.
Hold on. It's very much
an
like
engravable.
Please return to.
On
It's got his ex's name on it.
on it.
Go on.
It has the words, "She loves me, she loves me not."
Oh, that's no.
And all of you at the same time look at each other and then look at the rose, as all three of you know that it is very common to pull a petal to say the words. And with that, we are going to go to our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you guys shortly.
Oh my.
I think we're back, and I would like to say that this is the first time. I'm not going to say why, but this is the first time that during the break we weren't talking about hella inappropriate things.
Sorry,
Well,
can we go back on break? We need to do that again. Sorry, guys. Be right back.
No.
I did not
Unacceptable.
like
I'm not living up to my brand.
We're just feeling off
Pinnacles.
today.
Pinnacles.
Let's
There we
say
go.
it
Now we
was
can-
sort of not safe for work because we were staring at some really pretty dice.
Sure,
So-
we were absolutely, which I will absolutely pimp that link out.
Plug.
You're welcome. No, I'm not saying because Guilty wasn't here is why we weren't talking about inappropriate
No.
things.
Oh no,
but-
she is the best.
Guilty
of us.
never
Guilty is
brings
the
it
best
up.
of us.
Yeah. We're just
Anyway.
stressed.
As we left off, Alma had just received a beautiful sterling silver bracelet that says "She loves me not," as well as a long-stemmed, beautiful rose. Imra, you can tell that this rose was cut from your family's garden.
I'm gonna roll a dice to see if he cares about that real quick.
You're like,
Let me
was
roll
he a
to give
garden
a shit.
person? Yeah, I think he was a garden person. I think he probably like sat there and read. So I think he definitely notices and recognizes this. Maybe he's a little bit annoyed by that. And I think he's like walking back in with wrapping his arms back up with the bandages. A rose and a bracelet.
I have
It's
an
super
admirer.
fucking creepy.
It's real gross.
Like look at this shit, and like I don't touch it. I sort of like pick up the monkey.
Like,
It's not a monkey.
it's a capuchin. I know, but it's so creepy.
It's a little bush baby.
It's a bush.
I pick up the set of eyeballs that have fur on them. And put them
Eyeballs with a
show
side of
you.
fur.
How dare you talk about my son? Don't ever talk to me and my son like ever again.
My child is normal.
Sure he
Special.
is. Does it seem to have any magical components? Anything that you're noticing?
Most of the time I'd be able to tell, but I can't right now. trying to like detect any magic is giving me a fucking migraine. It's making me want to throw up even more.
Well, that's what they do, right? That's what the creepy fucking, and I'm trying not, like Mara's trying not to look at it.
Yeah.
That's what that does. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Mara and Lenny, I'll even say with your roles, I'll even say that the information that you gather by looking at it, it is not magical, but you can tell that if this cross is a anti-magic zone and this item was magical, you would not be able to tell.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go pick up the rose. I'll pick up the rose.
Oh, he's ballsy.
You
Imra's
pick up the
ballsy.
rose.
They're ballsy.
Pick up the rose.
What if you just stomp on it to send a signal, you know? He's trying to send those signals. You can send the opposite signals.
Mara sort of like does this to Lenny for a second because she's just starting to ramble. It's like, hear me out. Creepy poem. Roses.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No?
No. I will say the
fuck.
rose is most likely fine. It's definitely from one of my bushes.
Is there anything inside it, you dickhead?
I'll look inside the rose.
He
You
doesn't know me.
you take your thumb and you move it across the petals of it, and you feel something inside of it.
Oh god, I hate it when I'm right.
I'm going to
It doesn't feel like an object, it feels like paper.
Oh,
okay.
I thought it was gonna be like an eyeball for a second.
Oh, I was waiting for a nice little ring to pop.
Liv would quit the game.
It's not even.
I was like, I might just pass out. I don't know.
It's not even an engagement ring though. It's like a promise ring, like a chastity ring.
I don't even listen. I'm trying to get away from my real life. I don't want to talk about rings.
So paper, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just hand it over to Alma and just go. Pieces of paper is inside of it. I'm assuming it's a bit more than just she loves me not, that he wants to get across.
I'm gonna have Castor pick out the piece of paper.
And Castor grabs a petal and pulls it off and puts the petal in his mouth and like pulls the petals apart and pulls what seems to be like a thin long piece of paper that is around the bud, the center bud of the rose. And there's writing on it.
Okay, what does it say?
Place this upon your wrist and you will be safe.
Oh.
No.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I don't know what to do.
I don't think I've ever been so uncomfortable in a game before.
I find this horrifying, but I love it.
X card is an option.
Yep.
No.
Oh no, not like
No, we
red safe word it. Like no, it's like
just
just like
this man, this
It's uncomfortable in the perfect way that we want
Safe.
right now.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a very good job. Like you are serving Frollo, okay?
Yeah.
Yes. You are serving Hellfire.
as the kids say,
And we're just all processing
these
it.
days, as the kids say these days, I am uncomfortable with the energy we've created in the studio today. However, I also am really down with it. Like, I'm vibing.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to put down. I'm picking up.
I'm picking it up.
The vibes are rancid, but that's what we ordered.
Foul.
Fucking foul. Okay. And like Alma just starts like pacing back and forth in the room. So, a man who is deeply connected to the genocidal force that has been hunting my sisters for generations. In fact, when I was like 12, I saw it. I saw it all. I saw them kill them. I lived all those deaths. I lived multiple deaths. And now he thinks that he can just walk in here and think that I'm going to open my legs for him.
Sounds like a
just open my legs. Huh?
As someone who may be a little bit more how do you say it? Experienced with this kind of bullshit. This guy is looking at you in his like holy chastity fucking underoos and going, "Ooh, baby, I cannot have that. I want that." I mean, that's what we thrive off of. It's creepy, but
Okay, but
maybe
how
we
does
can
it
use
get us
it to
out
our
of here? How does it
advantage.
get us out of here and alive?
Good question. I don't fucking know.
I mean, if he wants you so bad, will he kill you?
Yes.
That's probably his kink, to be honest.
Mm,
Imra?
I get that.
Imra's going over to like one of the bookshelves and pulling out some of the old journals and just going, I don't know. Seems like the kind of person to keep you at the very least as a pet, if he does keep you alive. Which knowing you for the short time I have, I think you'd rather prefer death.
I mean, being a kept woman isn't always a bad thing, but not with him.
No
When it's
offense,
consensual, it is.
and I am very concerned for you. What does this mean about us?
Oh, we will most likely be killed. I thought that was that not obvious? And he's like pulling out a bunch of the past journals and
No,
setting them
I
down on the
get
ground.
Yeah,
that. I
I
get
thought
that was the goal. I don't want to.
Yes.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
I think we're definitely all working on a way to get around that.
So,
I'm good at speaking.
are you good at acting, Alma?
Yes, well, let me double check.
Like,
Oh yeah.
do you
Yeah.
lie? Well,
Yeah, I'm quite intimidating. I'm quite diplomatic, and I do think I'm fairly good at deception. I do so myself.
that's very astute. Very astute.
Very interesting. If you could put a value to it, like I don't know.
Yeah, a value.
And like a 1 to 20 scale.
Higher than
Just-
5. Higher than 5.
Okay.
No, I'm fucking with you. I'm not giving you my
I know.
actual numbers.
Okay,
It's
thank
actually-
you. You worried me for a second.
It's
What if
definitely higher than 5.
We're kind of all liars, right? So what if we just keep lying?
That's fully what I intended on doing. I have no idea where Alistair is, but I was planning on at least sending him.
But what is the seal?
And he's like
Do
putting the
that.
books down open on the like random page and setting them down on the ground. I have no idea. And he's gonna start flicking through the pages of the book that he's
And as
written
you
it.
flick through the pages, Alma, one of the pages catches your eye very quickly. You can see the page has been drawn upon, and in the negative space between the words, you see a moon and a star, the symbol of your sisters.
I snatched the book so quickly out of their hands.
Put the book down.
What is this?
I
Do
don't
you know what?
know.
Do you know what this is?
No, I think those are one of the ones I drew the other day.
Can I put
Not
my
entirely
fingers
sure.
to it?
Yeah. It's inked to a
Okay.
page.
Give me the book now.
Put it back in his hands.
He doesn't like tensed up very noticeably when you took the book out of his hands, but relaxed once he has it in his hands again.
And in the back of your head, you hear, I like her.
Oh my god, I have mom's approval.
The praise that Imra never got.
Interesting.
What
Have you
about
ever-
it?
Have you ever been visited in a dream or something that felt like a dream by two feminine beings, young, old, maybe one young, one old, one beautiful, one ugly, both of them beautiful, one of them uglier?
Not that I remember. I don't quite sleep. At least not like most of you likely do. Does this mean
Can I
anything to you? I'll get like all of the books that I had and put them together, because I'm guessing this moon was like part of the bigger picture that I drew last time.
Could
So
be.
I'll try and recreate that with what I remember and what journals made that image.
How many journals? Is it just that one?
The entire his room is just journals. He's
But
been
no, I'm
alive
saying,
for over
like-
100 and something years.
I'm saying like that image. How often does
Oh.
it appear?
This is the first time you've seen it, or at least recognized it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll try and recreate that image if I can.
As you're starting to do that, you hear a gong and you hear the door open. Dinner is served. We're here to collect you.
I'm gonna turn really quick. And I'm going to turn really quick and I'm gonna say, if we could just a few minutes, because I realized and I've done some thinking, and I think, and I like purposely kind of glance at the bracelet. I think I should freshen up.
I'll let him know you need 5 minutes. We'll be back. And
Thank you.
they step out.
Can I fucking commune with my sisters? What the fuck are they doing in this journal? Can I
So you attempt to tap in, and you can tell that you are completely cut off with that
Oh,
cross in the
word.
room.
Oh fuck, I fucking forgot.
Oh.
Damn it. Okay, at least they're not mad at me. That's all that matters.
Are you mad?
They're not
at
mad
me?
at me because I can't hear them, and
Yeah.
that means they're not mad at me.
Live
That's
that
how I
way.
deal
Oh
with
my
my
goodness.
anxiety.
So bliss. Yep.
I love that for you.
If I can't
Yeah,
listen to my
doesn't make
anxiety, she's not there.
Mara
No.
sort of like looks at you, sort of like panicking, like in the face, and sort of like comes over. Thread magic again, huh? Hear
I got so
me out.
excited about seeing that, but I forgot.
Hear me out.
Is he just giving me the bracelet?
He can do that while we're talking. Hear me out. You have an in with Mr. Creepy doesn't understand consent.
Woodman.
Wood boy.
Wood boy. Boy.
Willy
Wood,
Woodman.
Pinocchio.
Willy Wood.
Yeah, Willy would. So, good old Willy, he likes you. Doesn't like the rest of us. That's a bit sad, but whatever.
I'm okay with that.
We're all good liars. We're not going to walk away from this if we try to fight. We're weakened enough as it is. Are we on agreement that we need to pretend, at least, that we're working with these fuckboys
That
to
was my
help them
intention.
try and find him?
Yeah.
Good. Because
plan
I
on
don't
telling
know.
them-
I don't know about you, but I kind of want to be the person that dictates when I die and how.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that if we try, we will fail. And not even fail like dying. I mean, with this group of people, there are things worse than dying. And if I fuck this up for everybody, then we're all stuck here under their thumb.
If you do not think I do not know about lives being lived that are worse than dying, then you haven't looked hard enough. We do not have a choice. We either try and get gut punched by the universe, or we sit in there and lay back, put our legs open, and let them fuck us to death.
Well, that's gonna happen to me regardless. No,
I hope that was out of character.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She just breaks. She's
I just started
Oh, she's
screaming.
lost it.
Emma, you were saying?
Yes, no, I was just gonna say, does this, and I don't know if I put the image together by now, but I was gonna see if it means anything to Alma.
You put the journals together and you move them around, and that page does not match any other page.
I'm gonna go over to like behind, because I'm imagining you're looking at it.
It's all on the floor, like you
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
open
yeah.
them up on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't touch it, but I do point. The moon and the star are the symbols of my coven, of my sisters, who are more than sisters. They're mothers and are goddesses. And the whole reason I even went to the grove and met you all in the first place was because they deemed it so.
Imra sits down, kind of stares at the book for a while. I'm sure you probably know, and I mentioned it briefly, but vampires can't give birth.
Right.
William mentioned it. It's probably much wider knowledge than I even thought, but I ended up being, I suppose, given by Lamashtu to my mother.
And in the back of your voice, you hear, cursed.
A blessing, if you will.
You've called yourself that before.
Yes. And I'm not entirely sure what was given. With Lamashtu, there usually is some sort of give and take. But as you have probably seen, I'm sort of a mishmash of pieces that probably weren't originally meant to be together. And maybe because of that, maybe just additional to it, my hands move on their own occasionally to write or draw. It has for over 100 years, for as long as I've been alive. Actually, all of these, and it points at all of the journals, all of them I've written or drawn to completion. That's why this place is quite full of them. And occasionally I understand something in them. Most of the time I don't.
Can I ask a question? When we look at Imra, do we see like Frankenstein's monster kind of like joins and shit like that?
I guess they would all be under your wraps, huh?
Yeah, the skin tone, like you've seen him without his wraps. We went to the bathhouse at some point. Yeah. The skin tone is like complete and like flush, like it perfectly fits.
Yeah.
But you do see like stitches or like scars as if they've been recently healed, or not recently, but old scars that have been healed around the joints and like around sections of the eyes and mouths on his body. And there's one around his neck as well that's been yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
Alma like holds her hands out for your hand that you're talking about.
He places his right hand out.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously I can't do any sort of magic right now, but I do think she's kind of just like looking it over and like running her thumbs against the lines of his palm.
It's definitely wrapped up, and you probably feel teeth because that's the hand with a mouth in it. So you probably like
I shove my thumb in the mouth.
My mouth he has no gag reflexes. What do you mean? Imra doesn't have a gag reflex.
No, but the hand
Imra, you heard it here first.
None of Imra's mouths have gag reflexes. Do what
And with
you will
that,
with that.
The door opens once again. All right. 5 minutes are up. Let's go.
I kind of want to be that asshole who's just like, did you know he doesn't have a gag reflex?
And Alma, your little bush baby, is holding the bracelet again.
I just pick him up and I put him in a pocket. I don't take it.
Do you take the bracelet from him?
No, I don't. It's in my pocket.
Okay.
Fuck, I should just fucking put it on. This is gonna fuck me. Oh my god.
What you want to
It's
do?
up to you. Imra's definitely like putting away the books.
I just feel like I'm gonna get charmed. And I'm so scared of that.
And
you don't have to put it on.
Yeah.
And they stand there and go, let's go.
Cool. And Imra will walk ahead.
And
almost at the very back of the line.
Is there a way, just a side note quickly before we exit with our golden guard, is there a way to make it so that a link in that bracelet is slightly easier? So if we need to pull it, we can?
I would say that with your Arcana, when you were like visibly like going through it and looking at it. Well, it is sterling silver. Sterling silver isn't that difficult to break. All of you have the strength to rip it off.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's really not like it's a nice bracelet. It's just not like meant to. It's not a shackle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it
not
doesn't, because
literally.
it feels like it. Because it feels like it's a shackle.
It's not
In-
a physical shackle, you know. It's
In my brain,
metaphorical,
I'm
maybe
just
even
like,
spiritual.
yes. Cool. So as we're sort of walking out, Mara sort of puts her clawed hand on top of your shoulder and just goes, if we need to take it off you, we can. If you feel even the slightest bit weird, just let us know. We'll rip that thing off you. But if this might save you, even if it is from Captain Fuckboy, it's up to you. Sort of like
Lenny-
gives her an awkward pat because she doesn't know how to deal with people's feelings.
Lenny walks on the other side and she goes, for you, I'll chop off your hand. Easy as that.
Lenny is a person after my own heart, honestly.
Imra, I honestly think Imra's like kind of annoyed that they came after me, but I kind of like Lenny.
Yeah, I think Alma will reach back into her pocket and she's like kind of scratching the like behind the ears of Castor. And she's just like sighs. If I don't seem like myself for even a second, you pull this off of me. And if there's no way to save me, you kill me.
Deal.
I mean, there was a mushroom around here before. Sure, we could find her.
And I like hold my wrist out for Castor.
Lenny is staring at you so hard, trying to see and just like see if there's any changes. Like
Yeah.
she's trying to read body language. Like you naturally do that. Lenny's like,
And after Castor puts it on, like Mara has like some seeds and like stuff, just snacky stuff in her pocket. She's just gonna hold out a sunflower seed to him
Oh,
and just be like,
isn't he cute? Look at
Look at me.
him.
"Look at me. Hi. Oh, that's a bit creepy, but that's cool. If you think that she's in trouble, you let me know immediately. Yes."
And he like opens his mouth and he's got sunflower seed in his mouth. And he's like,
Excellent. Good. Okay, you're not too bad. I give him a little scotch. Oh, he's fluffy.
and the
That's
last
awesome.
the last guard reaches down and picks up the cross and puts it around his neck and follows you all the way down to the same room in which you all had eaten just the previous night. But instead of Alistair sitting at the head, you see Mr. Woodman. The table is laid out beautifully and well put together. Alma's seat right next to his. But instead of last time where you were all kind of far away, you're all close nearby. And he goes, welcome, my honored guests. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Mara's gonna sit right next to Alma. My brain went Imra, and I'm like, no, wrong four-letter name.
No,
Wrong
we're
four-letter
stronger
name.
than that. We're not Jake. We're
I
stronger
know.
than that. We can do
I know.
this.
Lenny's gonna try to sit across from Alma.
Yeah, so you can give me like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming that your bracelet is on the arm that is closest to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
And as you get there and you the chairs are scooted out for each of you and placed, he looks at you, Alma, and goes, "Oh, that is a lovely bracelet."
Thank you.
So, as we are probably all hungry, except for you, Imra, what exactly do you eat?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll
Do you
give
have
you
any
3
soldiers that you like to
guesses.
give up? Some of them seem to smell quite nice.
God,
I
dude, you can't just
don't.
ask someone what they eat. God.
I don't. So I hope the meal in which we bring out, I made sure that yours was undercooked. So I know we are not all actually here for pleasantries. We're here for business. You asked me a very important question, which is, what is the seal for? Have any of you ever heard of, I'm going to say this name, and I'm going to butcher this name. Rovag Ug. It's Rovagug.
Have I heard of this?
Rovagug. So this would be a
Rovagug?
religion roll.
Religion.
How to pronounce?
Not even
Cannot
a little
find.
bit of like weird cult shit.
I mean, you can do that,
It's
but you will
definitely
have your number won't be as equal to.
Yeah.
Religion?
I just wait. I have Lawmaster. Would this? Could
wait, I
I
can do
use
this
law
fast.
for this?
Yes, you
8,
can.
9,
Yes, perfect.
10.
I
Dirty
rolled a nat
20.
one.
A dirty 20.
I
I'm
would say-
also going to give you a +4 to your roll, as this has to do with your god. What does everyone else have?
I was about to
What
say I
about-
have a +9 for hell law. I'm just saying.
It is hell lore. It is hell lore.
So I can. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I can take that. So it's. I could do math before because
I got a 25.
What are
25.
we rolling under?
Lawmaster.
Religion
I got a 3.
3. You have never heard of this.
Not a fucking day in
So-
my life.
15.
25.
So both you, both Imra and Mara, the name clicks in your head. This is a beast, a massive god that its only powers, and not only powers, its only wants is to destroy and devour. This is a god that all of the other gods, good and evil, team together to capture because it was impossible to kill, and is currently being held in hell by Asmodeus. Asmodeus is the one with the key.
Oh no! Oh no!
Asmodeus.
And Mara knows. Mara knows. Oh no! Oh no!
Does Imra know?
Boy,
I can't remember
howdy.
if Imra knows. Does Imra know about Dasmodius' situation or no? No. Okay.
You were there when Rose
Yelled
grabbed
at me.
and said, "You work for me. Get me out of here."
Okay. Yeah, and you've told us that you work for. I don't think you told us you work for Asmodeus actually. Just that you had people like you work.
I come from
Hellions.
hell, and that is all you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop being so like shy. Open up.
Open up to us. What done her wrong?
Mara has trust issues. Okay.
Oh, really? You know,
Totally not a
talk about
character modeled
that.
after me. Swear to fucking look, as a bi, having like 2 lady voices either side of my head right now, I'm just like,
It's okay. One's flirty and one's unhinged. So
that's how she likes it. Like,
that's like the normal voices in my head. It's fine.
okay. Back to the game. Back to the
baby.
game.
Yeah, back to the game. So okay, cool. Wow, we're fucked. Cool. So he says that, and
I don't react. I try not to react and just shake my head.
Yeah, he says, there is a, and he pauses, and you can tell that he is very stressed out about what he is not only releasing to you, but it's also kind of weird that he is, right? It's awkward. It's strange. It feels almost forced that he is releasing this information. And he says, we believe that there is a group of people trying to release them. And it will destroy everything that we hold dear. Not only myself, but what you hold dear.
Care to elaborate? Who would be stupid
Interesting.
enough to do that?
And he just kind of I don't know. I don't know what their motivations are or why they would do this, but we have the information and we know that is being attempted.
Forgive me, but I think you misunderstood. I didn't ask why. I asked who.
We don't know.
And how did you get this information?
And as he starts to open his mouth, Alma, the room starts to spin. And you kind of feel a little bit weird. And everyone else can roll a perception check to notice this.
Do I get bonus for sitting right next to her? Like I have my arm on hers.
Yep, you can roll whatever you need to roll.
19. And
Okay.
my perception is 10, so 29.
Okay.
20.
14.
I would say you all notice that she's like not feeling well. And as I assume, Mara, your immediate reaction is to pull.
Yes.
And as you reach for the bracelet, Alma, the room stops.
Huh?
Everyone stops moving. And you feel motion in your pocket as Castor pops his little head out and looks up to you. And from the body of William, one of your sisters pulls out. And she looks distressed. And she reaches and grabs you by the face, like pushes your cheeks together and pulls you towards her. And as she starts to speak, you see your other sister's face in her face, almost like separating and moving around. And she looks at you and she says, "We don't have much time. You must find them. They have the answer. We must find the seal and stop it." And she like starts to like feel like she's being pulled back, and you can feel her just like grabbing and gripping onto you as she's like,
I'm like, I reach out and like I hold her hand or something. I don't know. I hold her arm.
And she's like, "They're bastards, but they have the answer." And she just, and the room goes back. And at that moment, Mara, you pull the chain. You notice nothing, Mara. You notice that Alma's reaction is just fear. And in the back of Imra's head, you hear, "Did you feel that, child?"
Did I?
No. No.
No, I did not.
There was magic here. Very strong magic.
I definitely lock onto Alma. And then back to Mr. Woodman.
Woodman looks a little weirded out by the fact that Mara ripped the bracelet off, and he looks over.
To him, it looks like one of my many, many chains just got tangled and I accidentally yanked it. I am more perceptive than that, Jake.
No, that's fine. You're gonna definitely have to roll me a stealth, though.
Please don't fuck me. Please don't fuck me. Please don't fuck me.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Where are you going?
Honey has her hand on her switch scythe, like ready to cut your hand.
Okay, just to review.
Hold on.
She said you need to find the seal and stop them?
That you need to find them. They have the answer. You have to recover the seal. They're bastards, and clearly referring to the Golden Dawn.
Golden Dawn. Yeah.
But they have the answer.
Hold on. Sorry, doing quick maths. Hold on.
While Mara's doing that, I think Alma, trying to gather her wits about her. And we haven't talked a lot about Alma's backstory, but she's been around. She's been around and she's been around a lot of high-class people, okay? So while that's happening, I do think Alma would kind of like lean forward on the table, kind of like towards Woodman.
An assist.
Yeah, and it's just like, God, because what was the last thing said? I'm so sorry. I'm like fully like my mind is doing a sprint right now.
This
talking about
dude was
the destroyer.
Yeah, he was
The
doing
destroyer.
a panic. He was looking panicked.
Yeah, he was talking about this god.
Yeah. Oh God. I think Alma, would come in and just, well, that sounds terrifying.
I will give you a +2 to your stealth roll. What did you get, Mara?
So 27 then.
27. He looks over at the two of you and he goes, yes, it is.
I'm
and
so sorry. Fucking chains.
It's okay.
and while I don't want to trust a single one of you, I feel that we are at an impasse. I have a proposition. And as that happens, the door opens and food comes out. Imra in front of you gets placed a pig, uncooked, and like freshly killed. And for the rest of you, it is a delicious meal cooked in front of each of you. He says, I will make a deal that I feel would put me in great danger with both the Order as well as you. I will let you all live, but I need your assistance.
What with specifically? And he slides the pig away.
Would you prefer us to get the blood out for you? Is your teeth
No.
too sensitive?
I'm just not a fan of pork.
Not kosher.
We can slaughter a cow for you.
No, I'm fine.
Either way, you all have been marked by Alistair, which means that he needs to come back and see you. We need to know where he is. And you, and he points at you, Imra, have a piece of information that I am not stupid enough to think that you would just tell me where the seal is. But if you can manage to gather the seal, I will let you survive. I will let you all survive. I feel that all of you will be needed.
Look, I am a businesswoman, as I'm sure you can probably tell. Like, she's still got the symbol on her choker.
He says, I wouldn't want to presume.
So, sounds like an interesting proposal. However, it cannot be one-sided. Letting us live, that's fun. Like that. Great addition. But if you want this done, we have to be free agents. None of this bullshit following us around, tracking us, marking us.
Absolutely not.
Good.
But I hear that you're wanting more, which I get, I understand. Because I guess both of the options that I've offered you is death, right? If you turn this down, you die. If you accept this and fail, you die, but so does everyone else. So, how is this? We will keep an eye on you Because how else will we know that you're actually trying to accomplish the goals in which you have set forth to?
Define keeping an eye.
The Golden Dawn is full of secrets. We can absolutely keep a tail on you. Of course, not interrupting or causing any problems. How is this? I am aware that you also have another friend or two on your tail. Someone going through dimensions, metallic objects trying to go after you.
Yes.
How did you know about that?
I don't ask questions unless I have the answers already. I knew Imra was in charge. I knew the three of you were part of a cohort. I only asked the question to see whether you would tell the truth or if you would lie. And clearly, when push came to shove, you opened up. So, their type of magic in which they use is against the Golden Dawn. And because of that, we keep tabs on it. So we are aware of them hunting and being more active as of recently, and having been in areas in which your handiwork was also visible. I must say, while your anger was put on the wrong type of people, your work in itself was quite beautiful. We would love to have you all official members of the Golden Dawn, except for you, Imra. I apologize. That's just not a possibility.
Oh, I would have declined immediately anyway.
But the rest of you, we would take you in full hand. Especially you, Alma.
That's very kind of you.
So, we will stop them, and you can stop the world from ending.
It's a better proposal. How about we sweeten the pot a little bit? You and I both know that doing this, anything to do with that big fucking thing, it's a suicide mission. You know that.
It is a suicide mission to attempt to kill that creature. We don't want that creature killed. It is impossible to kill it. We know that. Asmodeus would have done it himself years ago. That is not our goal.
If it gets out,
we are all dead. Not just you. We all are.
All I ask is, on top of your very generous offer, we share information about the seals with you. You share information about anything that's coming after us. Anyone else? I'm just the mediator here. Like,
I mean,
any other information?
You wouldn't want us hurt.
That is why I am keeping an eye on you. It isn't necessarily to, well, it is absolutely to prevent you from just splitting and running, but it is also there to prevent distractions. Alistair has a list of people from Project Monarch. The people within Project Monarch. We believe people from Project Monarch are the ones that are releasing.
Much better.
Okay, so now I have another question. Project Monarch, I originally thought that this was one of your many, I'm sure, projects you had under your hand. But if it seems like they're going AWOL and have been for a while, if you already know that they're going for the seal, who owns Project Monarch?
Project Monarch is ours.
Oh. Now
And
that's
what was the original?
fascinating.
What was the original plan with that? That's an awful lot of sleeping agents to have.
Children. That's an awful lot of children to steal.
They're
I
not.
can think of a reason.
They're not all children now. They grew up. They live perfectly happy lives, unaware of their magnificent and absolutely terrible deeds in which they have had to have done for the safety of everyone around them. Do you know how difficult you might be able to handle this, and you might be able to be happy and ecstatic that you're able to kill and take the lives of people, but most aren't.
You are.
I am. Project Monarch was only possible because we found text dealing with Ravagug. The texts themselves allowed us to use this. And they may or may not have been more than just what we assumed them to be.
So, let me get this straight. You found texts from an incredibly dangerous being and went, wow,
Technically,
it
wasn't text from them. It was a text from members of a cult in which we had destroyed and removed.
That doesn't matter. The knowledge from that cult comes directly from the beast. You didn't think that would have these repercussions, that they wouldn't seek it out.
Mara, you're asking too much of him. This is a man who has decided that the magic and the ways that we live our lives, the magic that I wield, the magic that you wield, is just too different, too wrong, too evil. And the things that he's done are perfectly fine. And we have to respect that.
Your mood has changed drastically. What has happened? You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you find the seal. We will watch your back. Be aware of anything Project Monarch related. If you hear of anything, you suspect anything, I ask you to just do what you do best, which is to kill it.
Not every suspicion is right.
It would be better to be used openly. Kill and be sorry that you made a mistake later, as letting someone from Project Monarch go would only exacerbate the problem. And
I assure you.
Imra, in the back of your head, you hear, "Oh, you're going to hate this. We have to go to the desert."
I hate sand.
Of course.
Thank you. That is the correct answer.
Really? Wait, I do have to bitch really quick. When I moved into my apartment complex and I was choosing my Wi-Fi name, there was somebody who had the Wi-Fi name I Hate Sand. So I named my Wi-Fi It's Course. And then months later, I looked and nobody else had done it. There was a bunch of people who were like, I hate sand. I hate sand more. I think sand's okay. And I was like, what a bunch of peasants. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan. I was like, I'm so mad I'm changing my Wi-Fi name.
My Wi-Fi, I have two channels. One is not the Wi-Fi you're looking for, and the other is Move Along.
Wow.
There you go. Anyway, moving on.
Fucking nerd. Anyway, so yeah.
I had to bitch about it because I don't have anybody else to bitch to.
So yeah, Imra, you hear, we're going to have to go to the sand. The seal is deep within the earth.
Fine. We will help.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you all agree. Lenny, and he turns to you and says, Are you sure you don't know anything about Project Monarch?
It's a pretty lame name.
He says, you wouldn't mind, would you?
Mind what?
And he looks at you and says, the plucked chicken is ripe for the season.
Bok, I guess. What? Why?
And he goes, Lenny, your name is on my list.
Dun dun dun!
The light went out perfectly.
Wow.
The timing.
Not if you can't see it.
The wardrobe was so heavy. It burned out the lights. It blocked
Oh
out
my
the sun.
god. Hey, no, it's okay. Leave it like that. It's just moonlighting.
Yeah,
Also, can
just-
we
I
all
do like-
appreciate how
I was gonna say.
Jake has Batman on his shirt?
Yeah.
It's a tropical Batman.
got
This is
you,
such a
Jake.
good shirt. Batman deserves a vacation. Actually, no, he doesn't. Anyway.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
he's
he takes
fine.
many, I'm sure.
That man don't work.
Yeah, so he says he says to you, your name was on my list.
Shouldn't be.
The problem with that is that you wouldn't know. Be careful of people that say strange things to you. Are there any triggering points that make you specifically angry?
I think that's none of your business.
True. But think of them. Are they true memories? Or are they placed there? Do you remember everything vividly? Do you remember the smell? Do you remember the taste of things? Because most don't. Most people, their memories are hazy at best. Vivid memories of childhood or traumatic moments within your life are sometimes placed there I'm not saying you're the Lenny that is on my list, but you definitely meet quite a few criteria.
I guess I'm not as original as I think.
Well, either way, I wish you all the best. I'm leaving this castle, and they have already started burning the walls, so I would leave quickly as well. Have a wonderful night. And he gets up from the table and starts to walk away. And it's about that time that you all start to smell the burning smell of wood as the room starts to fill with smoke.
Reminds me of home.
We should go.
We need to leave.
I wish I could do this fucking spell with multiple people, but it's fine. Me leave.
I am still holding on to this thing, by the way. This fucking thing's coming with us, so you can detect magic afterwards. It's I'm putting it in my pocket. It's there.
Well,
I don't
and
actually think it's from him,
as
but...
as he walks away, your feeling of magic, that weakness that you all had felt, is gone. You all feel refreshed. Not refreshed. I would not say refreshed, but you feel like you just finished your cup of coffee in the morning, right? You're ready to go. You know, you're the energy's there. Whether the will is there is a completely different story.
Well, I mean, the walls are on fire, so I guess we have some will, huh? Let's leave.
Yeah.
The walls are on fire. How about
Lenny
yours?
might have lost a little will, but
And
Brutal.
as you all reach outside, you are met with the smell of undead as Ori, sitting on her undead horse, sits there with 4 other horses. And she goes, "What took you so long?"
She brought gifts.
We need
Let's
to
just
go.
get the fuck
We're
outta here.
heading. We're heading.
Ori, how are you feeling? Is she
Fine.
looking okay?
Yeah.
Like with 4
Hey, she's A+. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having a great day, by the way.
Yeah. We fucking book it. We're out of here.
We're fucking gone.
And the 5 of you get on your undead horses and you ride off as the castle in which Imra grew up in, piles of journals in which Imra had been keeping for years, for generations, burn in smoke. And while none of you see it, it may be the only thing that would hurt Imra emotionally. And we leave tonight's episode with the monologue of Imra's mother. "I'm finally glad those books are gone. All you did was become a conduit for others. A lightning rod for things in which you accepted. Things in which you did not understand. Things that would help you and things that would hurt you. And now they burn. The one in your breast pocket being the last one. But those are burnt. Those are gone. And on this night, we head north. We move through the mountains. We move through the trees. And then we hit it. The pyramids. And that is where we are ending tonight's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will be back next week. We have some guests planned, not next week, but we have a plethora of guests planned this season. DK has already agreed to come back this season.
Oh boy!
Yay! We didn't scare them off.
I could not let Malvolia's last moments on screen be Imra taking control of her. And so
Free Malvolia.
An ally!
and so
Hey, think about
DK
it.
has
It's
agreed to come
poetic.
back. We also have a few other guests, so stick around and see all of the really awesome people that we've got lined up. Let's go around the table one last time. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's start with Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat, or Cat Scratch, KATSKRATCHH. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you want to find me there, cool. And other TTRPG stuff. I think other than this one, the only other one that is announced is my Forgotten Paths podcast, where it is an amnesia campaign, D&D 5e. Podcast that is on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, and it's out every Monday.
It's very
Hey,
good.
Kat, do
Highly
you want to
recommend.
send the group your YouTube channel so that we can help that grow?
Sure. I mean, if you want to.
Everyone follow our girl. She's trying to
I
get
followed.
to 1,000
I'm just gonna say I followed
I
Cat
followed
Scratch, and since then my
immediately.
ass has been thick. That's what
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
say.
say that really add to
Oh
your
my god,
dumping,
no.
but
That's so weird because like I followed Kat yesterday and I was like hanging out, like getting ready for bed yesterday, and I was like, damn, this ass.
I mean,
Hold
I
on.
do have to apologize. I'm sorry for the extra weight, but like you looking good.
No, it's
It
fine.
looks
Who
perfect,
who's
guys.
afraid of a
Guys.
little extra weight? Okay,
Right,
come on
right,
now.
right.
I haven't had the chance yet because I'm on Aussie time. Can you send me that link so we can test this theory out right now?
Oh yeah. Here. We're doing it right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah. I can't
Just-
actually
just-
type.
just-
What's
proof,
also
y'all.
the thing is that I have 5 accounts, 5 YouTube accounts. So what's
I
great
mean,
about
like-
that is right there is some subs, but also
Think of the dumpy.
side like behind the scenes thing is that I can start tagging your YouTube channel in Parliament of Owls descriptions that link directly over there.
Hell yeah.
You know?
That's hot.
Go for
Guys,
it.
I'm just saying, I just follow Cat Scratch over on YouTube, and now my ass is stuck in this seat. I won't be able to get out.
I
Period.
apologize.
you're hella
I'll have my
close.
people talk to your people.
So you're hella close. You're at
Appreciate you.
8:53 right now.
I'm really close. I'm really, really close.
Yeah, you got this. You got it. I just put it in Twitch. Anything else? Do you have anything else?
Nope, just the podcast, and we're doing pretty good on it, and it's really, really fun. Like it's an amnesia campaign, and I'm learning more and more about my character every single week that I don't know about. So I don't even have a full character card right now. Like I keep filling stuff in, and the last week that we just recorded was like a one-on-one, and oh baby, I'm excited. Oh baby, it's so good. So
Cat's character, probably one of my favorites. Like just in general, over like actual plays I've listened to. VS's, I think Viesa made me cry. One of their vignettes made me sob. I was like, oh fuck.
oh my god, the
Oh,
beginning.
shit.
If you
Yeah.
like emotional damage from Parliament of Owls, please check out the podcast.
Awesome. That
Yeah,
brings us
that's it.
to Valkyrie.
Oh, speaking of emotional damage, hi, I'm Valkyrie. I'm known as Valkyrie Star XO on pretty much everything. I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram, which is saying something because they're not very active at all. I'm also on Twitch. You can come follow me there if you like. I'm actually like emotionally drained after that was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not doing anything at the moment except for this. So yeah.
That and you're prepping for a true crimes podcast.
Yeah, I was
so-
gonna say you're.
I
trying to
legitimately, I am about to, after this finishes, I am going to message you and we're going to talk.
I like want it done in character though. Like I want it like this is Mara's side hustle that she just
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to True Crime with Mara. Today, we are going to talk about the guy that killed 15 people and then hung them like drapes.
I'm sold. Yeah.
Great,
I'm in.
thank you. It means I'm going to struggle to stay in character and with an accent for about an hour. Thank
yeah.
you.
That brings us to Drac.
Oh, hi. I'm Drac or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I kind of stream all over the place, but my current schedule is every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm over on Rule of Law in a cyber system campaign called Infinite Horizon, where I play a time-traveling lizard alien who's the leader of Force of Resistance against corporations. Fuck the corpse. On Thursdays, you can find me for the next 3 weeks now over on Saving Throw Show, playing through the Dark Souls TTRPG with Gabe James Games, which I'm very excited about. I'm playing a character named Stitches, who is Patch's older brother / fellow merchant. So obviously my character is an arsehole. Not so much as Imra. He's more of a coward than like an Imra. This Stitches.
I like how an Imra is like
Big
a
jump to-
definitive thing.
Yeah, an Imra is very different.
Guys, don't be an Imra.
Please don't be an
Don't
Imra.
be an
Please,
Imra.
no. Fridays, obviously, I'm here, 6 p.m. Pacific, playing Imra. You can hear me on Super Idols and Actually Play podcasts every third Sunday, I think it is. Was it
I
every
always just say
first?
once a month because I'm very
Yeah.
bad at my job.
Once a month on Sunday, you can hear
Feel
my
that.
voice, me and Liv's voice in an Actually podcast called Super Idols, where we play pop idols plus like Sailor Moon, magical girls meshed together. Very fun. I play a decidedly not Imra character in that actually.
If you think that Drac can only play assholes, you need to listen to G.
I adore Jaden. And keep an eye out because I'm going to be coming out with I'm going to be in another actual play starting this month very soon. All I will say as a hint is he's heavily based on Kovu from Lion King. That's all I'll say.
Thirst trap? Are you thirst
I-
trap right
That's all I'm
now?
going to say.
How dare? How dare? That was one of my sexual awakenings as a child. Do you fucking
We'll
mind?
unpack this. They can't know this is the kind of stuff we talk about
Yeah,
on break. We'll
this
talk about it later.
BTS.
Mate, if you think you haven't seen Twitter, okay.
That's,
Follow us all on
it-
Twitter.
Drac, if that's it, that will bring us to Liv.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Liv. You can follow me on Twitter at Live in a Day. Live in a day, because I'm very punny. I'm Liv. It's my day. I'm living it. Goodness, I'll try to keep it short. So, I'm also on Rule of Lore, friend of the channel, Rule of Lore. I'm over there on Tuesdays where I play a gay rock. I play an
Gay
Earth
flying
Genasi,
rock.
a gay flying rock. I play an Earth Genasi who is just trying to support everybody. You know, she's the tank of the group. God, she's dumb, but she really does her best.
She's an ally.
She's a lesbian, but yeah. It's an all queer D&D water deep dragon heist campaign. So
You sure it's not Dragon Deep Water Heist?
shut up. So, you know, be gay, do crimes, we're having a good time. I'm really happy to be back here. I was like literally at work just like I'm gonna go home and stream, so you can catch me here on Fridays having the time of my life. You can hear me over on Super Idols RPG. Today was my character's birthday. I've decided that she was born on April 1st, so happy birthday to my Super Idols character. And then on Monday, Bestie, I can't believe you didn't promote this. On Monday.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, fuck,
On
next week is
Monday,
prep. Oh,
you
shit.
need to show up at Under the Table. After you're done hanging out at QueueTimes, because QueueTimes streams on Monday too. But on Monday, Under the Table, we are going to be playing I Want Your Bite.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, that's right.
yeah,
I
Val,
am
you
actually
said it as well.
I'm actually on something else. Oh god.
Yes. So it's gonna be me, it's gonna be Drac, it's gonna be Valkyrie. And if you haven't seen them before, you absolutely need to be watching Stella Luna. Stella Luna TV is gonna be there, and we're all gonna play some hotties trying to fucking romance a vampire like it's The Bachelor. So
Living the dream.
Living the
the
dream. living the
Get it?
dream.
Living
So
the dream. Get it?
that was almost my
On brand.
social media title, but somebody took it on Instagram, so I had to
rude.
change.
Asshole.
Yeah, it was. I really wanted to be living a dream. Anyway, doesn't matter. You want to see us living the dream? See you on Monday night.
And before I make QueueTimes and myself announcements, we have reached our first goal for the night. So starting
Thank
so
you.
next, I lied. I said it was a D8. It's actually a D10. So
Okay.
next episode you will have a D10. Thank you so much, everyone who has donated. We honestly super appreciate you. Coming here every week is fun and enjoyable, but it also the little bit of money that we gather from this does help us. As you can see, you know, if some people have spent money on costumes, we have all spent time and money here on, you know, equipment and cameras and all that other stuff. So this just helps us bring a better show to all of you. QueueTimes things. Tomorrow is Power Play. We've got Power Play. No, I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Sunday we have Power Play. Monday we have Changeling the Dreaming, Barony of Olives. Tuesdays is Blackness and Dragons, which is a D&D 5e all person of color cast. If you haven't checked that out, this is actually the perfect time because while they're technically the third season, this is a reboot. They're basically starting fresh at this season. So
Okay.
if you haven't seen the previous seasons, actually technically it would be the fourth season. It doesn't matter. Anyways, if you have
They're back, baby.
they're back, and now is the perfect time to watch because they're starting fresh, all new characters, no previous history that you have to know, no backlog. You can start now. It will be podcasted as well. This show is also is podcasted. If none of you knew that, it is in a podcast form. And that is Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays we don't do anything except for we have something coming up, but I don't think I'm allowed to announce it yet, but there's still something. And then Fridays we are here. 1985 gaming, Die Hard Dice, all that fun stuff. I think that's it. My name is Jake. Bye everyone. Oh, deuces my gooses. That's what I have to say. Bye.